Well, hello, everyone. You must be here because you are excited to learn about Lenormand cards. Now, I know that, the French pronounce Lenormand totally different, but, I like it with the Texas twang. Anyway, so I am so glad that you're here. This will be like a beginner's course, but you know what? I really enjoy myself watching different videos about Lenormand because I can learn so much because it's almost like you have a learning curve after you get into it and you use those cards. And then sometimes you just need a refresher. So hopefully this will be both for somebody who is brand new to Lenormand cards and then maybe someone who needs a refresher. So I hope that you learn from this. Now, this one will be the first of a series of four. Okay, so this will be talking about cards. I think it's 1 through 9. And I'm going to use this deck right here under the roses, just strictly because they're smaller, and I can kind of show you different card pulls and what each one means. So let me go ahead and pull up my slide so that you can see. But yes, so here is an introduction. I'm going to go through each card and talk about what each one means, what the symbol of each one means. And then I'm going to show you a couple of card pulls with just two cards, just like for an introduction to see how a meaning can change. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get into it. So here is the introduction to Lenormand cards. Now, the tricks using these cards, symbols should be very clear. So that's one reason why a lot of these cards only have one symbol on them, okay? And I'm going to show you the cards so that you can see them very clear. Use a specific question to get a precise answer. So with Lenormand cards, sometimes if your answer is too vague, you may not get the right answer or it may not be a good card pull. So it needs to be very, very specific. Now, for a general reading, I have asked the question, can you give my client advice on buying a house or give her advice for this week? So that's more general. And then you definitely have to use your intuition. So a lot of times when you get cards and you're going, I don't know how this matches or the meaning behind it, use your intuition. Okay. So you always need to breathe, center, shuffle, question, and pull the cards. That is one way that you can do it. Okay. Now, also with Lenormand cards, you will have, and I'll show you more in just a few minutes, but you'll have a symbol on one card, and that is like a word. And then the second card will begin to make a sentence. And then these sentences turn into stories, which I absolutely love. All right, so practice is the number one thing on any card deck that you have. You need to practice, practice, practice. So a suggestion is, and I did this and it was a lot of fun, is you draw two cards each day and journal your interpretation of that card pull. At the end of the day, go back to what you wrote about your interpretation and write down your conclusions. And you'll find out that you'll be going, oh, wow, I was either accurate, or you might say, maybe I need to do more practice. But if you say you need to do more practice, you may not be using your intuition. You may be relying too much on the tool. So again, you definitely need to use your intuition. All right. So in each reading with Lenormand cards, there is always a focus card. Okay. It represents a situation, a problem, or a person in question. Okay. So we'll get more into this information in a series that I will show you how to do different card spreads and card pools. Okay. All right. So contextual meanings, and just like what I was telling you, is each card is a word. Whenever we talk about contextual meanings with Lenormand cards, it's the main context of the question, okay? Because it makes it into a story, it makes it into a sentence. So these are different things that you can answer, or the theme of your question can be on. It can be about the future, it can be about a woman or a man, work, love, health, body, spirit, money, time, what time, when am I going to get married? So different cards can tell you that. Advice and orientation. And I'm going to go over quite a bit of this. Now, it can be overwhelming especially at the very beginning to try to find all these context meanings in these Lenormand cards. So take it very slow so that you don't get frustrated. All right, so let's go on to card number 1. All right, so this is the rider. And the rider is actually a movement card. It means arrival, swiftness, and speed. Now, when you look at the horse, if your intuition is telling you to look at the horse, it means power, agility, freedom, travel, beauty, and grace. And it also can mean news is on the way, novelty and new things, fit, or if it's describing a person, it's describing a fit and young person, and it is a neutral card. It's not positive or negative. Okay, so as we go through, I'm going to go through each card and I'm going to show you if it is a significant card, how it can be changed by another card. And the other card that I'm going to add to it is actually a modifier. So it will change the story somewhat or the sentence segment that we were talking about. Okay, so let's go and get started. Why don't we use the writer first? Let me see. Let's use it with the bouquet. Such a positive card, and see how this changes the meaning of the writer. So when you put these two together, it could be that you are welcoming a change, okay, a message to change to something that you want in your life. And the writer has brought it. Okay. So you're welcoming the change or you're welcoming this news of what is happening. Okay. Let's change and let's do another card. Let's do this one. How about the snake? Okay. Ooh, maybe it's difficult news that you've heard, but it can also be to deal with someone's advances or intrusive behavior. So, a lot of times, we have that nonverbal language that somebody may be sending you a different message. And so you're going, I don't know about this person. So, it may be intrusive behavior and invading your privacy a little bit physically. Or it could be something or someone who sneaks into your life and you weren't ready for them whenever they re-entered your life. So that this can take on so many meanings. So again, you're going to follow your intuition, and also you're going to really look at the question of what your reader wants to be able to find the meaning behind the cards. The clover is number 2. Luck, chance, blessings, and good fortune, just like any clover, that 4-leaf clover that you want to pull. It brings inspiration and hope. Take a leap of faith and be optimistic if you get this card in your reading. Great opportunity, success, lucky win, a short time, a happy relationship, if we're talking about relationships. And it's a very positive card. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the clover, the lucky, lucky clover, and see how we can change the meaning. Let's go ahead and use the house and see how that would change the meaning. Okay, so it could mean several things, but one of the meanings it could be maybe you are happy enough to settle down and maybe to buy a house that you feel so comfortable with the small joys of life. And there's no need anything big or grand. Maybe you're just feeling very lucky. You're feeling grounded in your home. You're being very happy. And that could be, within yourself, because that's a symbol, is yourself could also be a house. All right. So let's go ahead and change that and see if we can change it to something a little bit darker. Okay. So let's see how clouds can change the meaning. So clouds, again, oh my goodness. So your luck has changed because, the fog has moved in and it's concealed several things. Maybe you have an opportunity at work that you don't know about, and you missed that opportunity because you didn't know about it. Now, the ship is another movement card. Okay. It is about travel, new adventure, going on a distant location. It may mean that you're going to move away a change, transition, vacation, or a journey. You might need a break, or you might be in a long distance relationship, or maybe one in the future, but it's a very neutral card. Okay, so let's go ahead and use the ship and see how we can modify the meaning by adding the tree. Okay, and see how that changes it. So, whenever you add the tree, it could be that you are departing, okay, like a ship departs the land, right? So, maybe you're departing your comfort zone. Maybe something has happened in your life that grounded you. And because of this new journey, you're kind of looking like you're uncomfortable, you're feeling uncomfortable. And maybe, you go somewhere where there is a lot of security. So see how that can change depending upon the question and what you're looking for. So maybe, on this journey, you need to find somewhere you find more secure where you can actually, conceal, put your roots down and feel that security. All right. Let's look at something a little bit more grim. All right. So again, this is the grave or the coffin on depending on what card that you're looking at. So this could mean the journey that you're on and you're excited about, maybe it is over. Or maybe it allows you, or the card is telling you that you cannot allow yourself to change at all, that you are the same. And so no more journeys that you're going to go on, the end of your journey. So that's kind of a grim card, isn't it? The house. It is about home and family, base center, comfort, and security. It also there might be a meaning behind it with your roommates, stability, real estate, possessions, and property. So if you're having a difficult time finding a piece of property, maybe the Lenormand card can answer the question by using this card. Stay true to your nature, create a foundation, secure your position. And so it is a very neutral card. Okay, so now let's look at the house and see how we can modify the house. Let's go ahead and use the rider because a lot of times you think the rider is very positive, but sometimes they may not be. Okay, so the rider is may be an invasion of your privacy. Maybe somebody entered your house and you're going, wait a minute, and they just came on in. So that maybe they're invading your home, like a home invasion. Or maybe there's some unfamiliar changes, maybe news that change something in your household, and it's an unfamiliar change to you. Let's go ahead and change the rider to the snake. Ooh, always the snake. So maybe there is, oh, maybe, the snake describes the person who is running the household. So, yeah, that could be a little deceiving, huh? Or maybe there's a conflict between your true desires and traditional lifestyle that a normal house would have. The next one is the tree. It is maturity over time. So you may mature over time, or another person may do so. Connects, I love this, connects heaven and earth, fertility, and things that grow. So, with concerning health matters, it kind of hovers around spiritual, mental, or physical. It also can be a symbol to connect you with your ancestors and roots. Or if you're looking at finances, it may be a good financial situation. So, this is a very neutral card as well. All right, so let's go ahead and use the tree as a signifier. Okay, let's see how things can change whenever you do use a tree. So let's go ahead and use the clover and see how that changes things. Okay, so maybe, oh my gosh, your luck, and this is when you need to go to Vegas, guys. Okay, you have long lasting lucky streak. Everything that is happening in your life is just, you feel is based upon luck. It is happening, and you are ready for that luck to not change, right? Or maybe, the tree also can signify your health. And sometimes you feel very lucky about your health, but maybe you don't go to the doctor and it's sacrificing something. And so there again, it can turn into something different. And so you really again have to look at that meaning behind the card and your intuition. Now, the clouds, all right, whenever you get this card, there is a problem or a bad omen. It's almost like a cartoon character that has a little cloud that follows them and it rains. That's basically the same thing. Okay, there's doubts, confusion, hesitation, and instability. Confusion, like you can't see through the problem, hiding the truth. It may be an unclear mind, feeling conflicted, or maybe it's a very, very negative card. Okay. Now, a lot of times, now on the other side, you can kind of see the sunshine. And if person card is on the other side, it may mean that they are beginning to understand the situation and that, they're pulling through and they're beginning to see no more fog or no more cloud. So it just really depends on the position of the cards. Let's look at the clouds and see how that can change. I'm going to go ahead and put the bouquet because I always like to have flowers whenever it is cloudy outside. It just makes me so happy. So this may change a little bit. Sometimes the bouquet means compliments, but if the clouds is the main card and this is the modifier, it may mean that, I'm not too sure about the compliments this person has given me. What is their intention behind the compliments? So you may not really understand what is going on, or maybe they're giving you a lot of presents and you're going, what did I do? What is this person? So you start kind of being unsure what their intention is. So it's very, you get very confused about these fake compliments. Okay, let's go ahead and change that to the coffin or the grave, as we say it. So maybe it is uncertain or an unclear ending. That would bring a lot of anxiety to a person. Or maybe the despair in your life is so big that you cannot handle it anymore. So that is a very depressing ending in itself. Now, this card, it's very interesting. The snake, how there's also a woman in this picture, but it's the loss of misfortune. It might be a person who it should be who is hiding ill feelings towards you. Betrayal, deception, envy, and jealousy, cheating, and it might be adultery. It might symbolize in telling you to be careful who you trust. And so it is a very negative card. This is when you definitely, if it's about a person, you need to put your shield up and protect yourself. Avoid the snake as much as you can. All right, so let's look at the snake as a significant card and see what the modifier can change, the meaning behind it. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the ship and see how it can change things. So again, a lot of times the snake is your desire. I mean, think of Adam and Eve, wanting that apple. And so with this, you may want to think that you have a strong desire to leave. Okay. So get on a journey, you have that desire to leave. Or maybe explore, like a ship would, explore your desires. All right, so I'm going to change the ship and let's change it with a bouquet, one of my favorites, and see how that can change things. So once you put a bouquet, it's like, oh, okay. So compliments, flattery. So you may use flattery to get something, okay? Or somebody is manipulating somebody else. Can. All right, so with this card series, Under the Rose, the author went ahead and put the grave, but most of the Lenormand cards, it says the coffin, okay? But it means the same thing, okay? So endings and death. Sickness, financial loss, depression, and painful change and transformation. Unable to cope with difficulty. So this is a very negative card in itself as well. All right, so now let's look at the grave or the coffin. I know I keep doing both, but I just don't want you to get confused, okay? And I'm going to use the modifier. I am going to go ahead and use um, the rider with it, okay? So whenever you have the rider, it does change it. So maybe you have news which can cause grief, okay? Or maybe you've had some news and you've been waiting for it to end. Maybe your job is ending and you just got the news of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and change it with the tree. All right, so again, the tree signifies health, it can signify spiritual, and also your roots. Um, so, um, so whenever you put it with the grave, so it might mean the loss of life, or maybe the end of growth. Maybe you are having a difficult time growing as a person, and so it's the end of the growth. The bouquet. And I always like to end on a happy note. So, all right. So, this symbolizes the joy, beauty, love, and happiness, admiration, contentment, warmth, and joy, offering of affection, appreciation, and gratitude, in a pleasurable work environment, which I love to see. And it is a very positive card. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do the bouquet, which I love the bouquet. So let's see how it changes. I may not like it after we change it, huh? So let's put the ship into it and see how it modifies it. So, this really is good. So it may be because, ship is like going on vacation or taking a journey or moving to a different place. So maybe it means that you are accepted wherever you go because people just compliment you and just absolutely love you. Okay. So, which is an awesome thing to be. Or maybe there's a new welcome journey, a change that has given to you and you are ready for it. All right. So let's go ahead and do Clover because I think of Clover as, being lucky. And let's see how it is with the bouquet. So this kind of changes a little bit. So it's a chance to visit, okay, which means you are taking the bouquet into more of a social situation. And so maybe the clover gives you a chance, you feel lucky, and you want to go and socialize with others. And so that really helps you with your social life. Okay, so this is the end of the show, and what I did on this episode of introducing Lenormand cards is I went through cards 1 through 9 and explained the different symbolism, the different meanings, the different context that it can mean in a spread or in a reading that you're doing for a client. And again, you need to use your intuition. So look out for episode 2, I will do the exact same thing. I'll go over the context clues for the rest of the cards. And I hope that you practice, 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 and that you enjoy your deck and become one with it. Thank you so much.